In our previous lesson, we looked at how to add catch lights to a photo that's missing, but I'm going to look at now how to enhance catch lights. Let's just zoom in, and here in this case you can see that there are some catch lights. In fact, if you look really closely, you can see the exact lighting setup I used to shoot it. You can see I'm doing an over and under, or what's also called a clamshell lighting, where we have one light directly above her, straight in front of her, and then a reflector right below her. So it puts a little bit different kind of catch light, but it's real. It wasn't added later. But they're a little dull. I mean, they're not really jumping out at you. So if you want to enhance those catch lights, here's a quick way to do it. Let's go over to the Layers palette. You're going to create a new blank layer. Then what you're going to do is, actually, you're not going to create a new blank layer. Why did I say that? Instead, you're going to duplicate this layer. Duplicate the layer. Then you're going to go up here to the layer blend mode. You're going to change the mode from normal to screen, and it's going to make the whole image twice as bright. Well, unfortunately, we only want the two little catch lights brighter. We don't necessarily want the whole image brighter, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to hide this brighter layer behind a layer mask, so that way we can just bring out the brightness where we want it. You're going to hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on PC. We're going to click this layer mask icon right here. So Option click on Mac, Alt click on PC, and the brighter version of that layer is hidden behind this white mask. So now you're going to go grab the paintbrush tool, make sure white is your foreground color, and we're going to zoom in nice and tight. We'll go in even a little tighter. Make sure you've got a nice small brush. We're going to shrink the size of the brush by using the bracket keys on my keyboard. These are the two keys to the right of the letter P. So the left bracket key makes your brush smaller, your right bracket key makes it larger. And we're just going to go and paint. And as we paint, it's going to reveal the brighter version of this photo. So we're just going to paint over the catch light areas right like that. We'll go over to the other one. Well, you know what? That last little bit looks funky. Great thing about layer mask is you make a mistake, you switch to black and say, you know what? That little area on the edge looks a little funky. There we go. Now we'll just hold the space bar. Anytime that I'm zoomed in on an image when I'm retouching, and by the way, there's two keys I can tell you right up front for retouching portraits. Number one is you got to zoom in close. That's number one. Number two is you got to work with small brushes. Those are just two ones to get you going, but keep that in the back of your head as we go through this. All right, so we're zoomed in close. When we're zoomed in close, we hold the space bar. It switches to the grabber hand and moves us around. If you're going to be zoomed in close, it's the best way to get around. Moving the scroll bars, you'll pull your hair out. So I keep one thumb on the space bar to move me around, and then I can paint with the other hand. All right, make sure white's your foreground color. And let's paint in this catch light over here. And we're just basically enhancing it and making it a little bit brighter. There we go. So now it's way too bright, right? But that's okay. I do everything at full strength first. Then we can step back, look at the photo, and then lower the opacity to kind of dial in where it looks more realistic, maybe something like that. So there's before and there's after. It just enhances the catch lights. Now, I'm going to give you one extra little bonus catch light thing that we didn't talk about before, but it's for adding catch lights. So that's enhancing the ones that are there. It's pretty easy to enhance them. So let me just go ahead and hit Don't Save. Let's open up that one that was completely missing the catch light earlier. Remember this shot? All right. So let's open it up again, and here's a great little trick. Add a new layer. You're going to go, instead of going to the Custom Shape tool, go to the Polygon tool. Why? Because if you type the number 8 up here, you can create your own custom octobank. So you can make it look like this was shot with like an Elinchrom octobank or one of the big soft boxes, those beautiful big soft boxes, because it creates an octagonal shape, right? So on this new layer, as long as you're filled with white, look, you've got an instant, and as you turn it, you can change the number of, let's change where the little sides are positioned. So look, there's an octobank. So we're just going to move it over here, pull the same little trick, Command click on Mac or Control click on PC to put a selection around it. Then you're going to hold the Option key and drag yourself a copy over there. Position it where you want it, and there's your giant octobank. And then you can lower this, and now it can also pass off as an umbrella too. Maybe a shoot-through umbrella or something like that. You can kind of pass that off. Now, if you want to make it look a little more up in the 10 o'clock position, go ahead and let it overlap her eyes just a little bit. Down here, click on the layer mask icon, and then go grab the brush tool. Make sure your foreground color is black. Let's zoom in a little bit more, right? We're going to get in tight. Just go in here with a small brush and just paint over that top of the area so it looks really like it was there. Go over here and just take that right away, just like that. So you can kind of get that out. And if you want to add a little bit of a blur, you can put a little tiny bit of a blur, back off, and then we'll find the right amount of opacity for that. But there you go, it looks pretty realistic, as you got a couple of little octabanks or umbrellas there in her eye. Just another way to do the catch lights. I know I've spent 2 lessons on catch lights, and the only reason why is because they're that important to giving your images that sparkle, that realism, and to make people feel comfortable with the portrait that you're looking at.